Okay, so we left off on drawing a cell array. Now let's go ahead and draw something new. I'm going to go ahead and create a cell 4 and then zoom in. Okay, so this next command is pretty handy for basically drawing lines like channels, especially for things like microfluidic channels and things like wiring contacts together. So that's the path command. So what we'll do for this one, I'd like you to just watch what I do, and then I'll have us work together on using the path command. So first, I'm going to to demonstrate what the path command really does, I'm going to go ahead and make a little makeshift microfluidic device just to give you the idea of what this does, how it works, and some of the things to watch out for. Okay, so imagine this is my little microfluidic device. I got my in ports here on the left and my out ports here on the right. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw this path to use the path command to draw my channels. Okay, so I have like I've drawn my channel here, and I'm going to draw another channel here. Okay? So these are my two channels. Now here's the thing though. Because I drew these, the software doesn't know how wide to make the channels yet. I haven't told it. We could be working on some kind of NEMS thing where we have very, very thin channels, or like for contacts, or we could be making these big fat microfluidic devices where the channel is like 100 microns. The software doesn't know yet. So you'll notice that as I zoom in, the channel here stays the same width because it's infinitely thin. Mathematically, it's a line. So I have to give this a set width. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and surprise, surprise, we set the width through the properties. I'm going to set the width maybe something like this, and I'm going to set the width like, say, this, and boom. And so then basically the path command lets you draw these kind of line segments and then adjust the width accordingly. So that's the essence of what it does. Okay, so let's do this together. And now to use the path command, the hotkey is L. L as in Larry. So it's L as in Larry for the path command. Once you've selected the path command there, go ahead and start drawing away. Maybe something like that, right? Okay. And so once you've dropped in a bunch of points, we have to finish drawing our path, right? We obviously don't want to keep just dropping in points forever. We want to finish the path at some point. So whenever we want to do that, we're going to hold Control, or if you're using Mac, you can hold Command, and then click. So you can Control and click to complete the path on the final point that you actually dropped in there. And if we want to set the properties, if we want to set the width of the path, we'll hit Escape. We'll select the path, right-click, Properties, and then set the width. Something like that. Okay? So that's a little bit about that. However, there's also another trick that we can use to draw paths a little bit more effectively. Go ahead and select the path command again. That's L as in Larry. And I'm going to move over here to the side and start drawing another path. Now here's the thing. Why don't you try holding Shift and then dropping in a few points and see what happens? I'm going to hold shift, click, 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 click. You can see what it does, right? It snaps to the nearest 90 degrees. So that's a very handy little trick to use there. Okay, and again, just like earlier, we set the properties, we set the width. Something like that. Great. So let's create a cell 5. Okay, so in cell 5, there's another command that's very similar to the path. That's the polygon command. So let's use the polygon command. The hotkey for that is P. So you hit P on your keyboard as in polygon. And then it works the same exact way as the path command does. Except the difference is, I'm going to go ahead and get a little aggressive here. The difference is when you finish the shape, instead of just finishing at the last point, it'll snap closed to where you started and then fill that in as a polygon. So then it's something like that. And also the shift trick that we just learned for the path command also applies here too. So that's another really handy one. So I can hold shift, just like the path command, and bang, there we go.